Hi and welcome back to Mawazo. My name is Mombi Wanjiru. Here we're trashing taboos, claiming our sexy and owning it. I hope you've been well. Thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing our videos. We really appreciate your support. And before we start, Nikona shout out. There's someone who told me I have to send them a shout out. So shout out to Kenny in Uganda.
Oh.
Thank you for being our supporter. I really appreciate you. And thank you for always engaging with us. So if you want a shout out as well, let me know.
You do the same to me too.
For you,
Yeah, shout out.
shout out to Nancy for what? For sitting here beside me and talking about. Let's talk about sex.
Oh yes. So today we are going to talk about communication. How well can we use communication in our relationship? Every day here we are always telling you, communicate with your partner. Tell them what you want. I mean, just communicate. We're always telling you to communicate. But today we want to know, what is communication? How effective can we make communication in our relationship? Mombi.
So communication is basically how we express ourselves, how we understand our partners, and how they understand us. It could be verbal, non-verbal, negative, positive.
Sure.
And first of all, let me say that I think in every aspect of every relationship, I'm sure even in yours, sorry for calling out, but even in your relationship, your sexual relationship, in your romantic relationship, most of the time, when you say my partner does not communicate, it's always on the negative.
Sure. Or
my partner is hard to communicate with, it's always on the negative. But there's positive communication. Most of the time we want people to communicate when we are angry or hurt. We do not always mention communication in a positive way or as a day-to-day tool of engagement in our relationship. So that is one thing I really want people to open their minds to. When someone says, oh, my partner is not good at communication, do you actually mean that this person on a day-to-day basis is hard to communicate with? Or are you saying that every time I'm angry, every time I'm hurt, it's very hard for me to be able to express myself to them? Number two, you have to know how, when, where to communicate certain things. As we always say, or as I always say, it is not what you said, it is how you said it. So you need to know when to say certain things, how to say certain things, and what words to use or actions to use for them to be able to understand you.
the tone matters.
The tone really matters. The tone really, really matters. You cannot go and speak in a romantic voice when you're hurt.
That's true.
You cannot go and scream at your partner just because you're hurt as well. You cannot go and just sit frowning and pouting next to your partner, just umenuna too, and then you're like, my partner does not even understand me. How will I understand what you're not saying? I'm not a mind reader.
Sure.
So you have to be able to understand. First of all, you also need to understand, how does this person comprehend certain things? Is it that because some people, you'll keep saying, I'm hurt over such a long period of time, until you realize, this person does not even care. It does not even care. Because if they cared, the first time I said I was hurt, they wouldn't have repeated the same mistake.
Sure.
Or they would have been considerate enough to make sure, okay, sometimes you hurt people unknowingly or without intention. It's not intentional. You have no ill motives. So it just so happens that something you did, not knowing that it's going to hurt your partner, happens to hurt them. So when you keep saying, I'm hurt 100 times, 1,000 times, every day, 1 year, 2 years, this person is still repeating what they did. You'll come to realize that there are people who don't react to, and I'm not saying it's good to be reactive, but sometimes you need to be reactive when whatever you're saying is not being heard or is being misunderstood. Because in this case, there's two scenarios. It could be that this partner just doesn't care. They just don't care. They'll do whatever they want to do, and it does not matter to them how much it hurts you. Number two, it could be that this person's way of understanding things is different from how you're communicating. So that's why you have to
talk in a way that you can comprehend.
You remember when we were doing love languages, you said that there's a way you receive love and there's a way you give love.
Sure.
So you need to understand how does my partner understand my communication. When I say I'm hurt, what do they understand? When I say you did ABCD and this is how I feel about it, do they take it as an offense? Do they become defensive? Do they shut down? Do they also retaliate with, oh, you also 19 at 12 a.m., especially for women, they record. On a certain day it was sunny, it was raining, and this is, you also did this. Is that how they react? Because you cannot have comparative negotiations when you're having an argument. It's very, very wrong. Yes. So in that case, I will ask you, how do you communicate? What do you comprehend when someone comes and says, you broke my glass and I'm hurt? Yeah.
Well, you see, for the person to come and tell me that I broke their glass and they are hurt, one, she's coming so that we can find a solution. And her coming to me or him coming to me and telling me that, hakuji so that we can have an argument. Just want me to know that he's hurt. So the way I will respond to them sets the ground on how the conversation will go. Because like you're saying, I could also say, hata just to review the sahani, you know, ama hata just ulinifanyia hivi, ama I would be asking them, now why are you hurt? Kwa sababu tunareview the grass, is that something to make you hurt? So how I respond to them by first understanding, yes, I feel you, that you feel hurt because the grass is broken. It sets the ground on how we move from there.
Yeah. So you need to understand that the first thing I think people should address is that hurt. Not why you did it, not why they feel entitled to hurt, because sometimes you feel like there are people who say, you're too emotional, you're too, you're overthinking, you're overreacting. Do not ever tell someone they're overreacting just because they are reacting to something that you have done. It is their feelings, and their feelings are valid. If you truly love someone, you should be able to
invalidate.
Don't invalidate their feelings, and don't try to have put them in a place where they feel that like they're stupid for bringing up the issue, like for complaining about the issue. Because as time goes by, you see these issues you bring little by little, they may keep quiet about it, or they may call you out on it. But the more you suppress emotions, at some point inakuwa it gets to a point of spontaneous combustion. It just explodes one day, and then you start asking why, what happened to us, where did we go wrong? I've always been nice to you, I've always provided for you, I've always, everything is good. And you find that in terms of sexual relations, you find that if I keep feeling invalidated every time I bring up an issue, I keep feeling invalidated, you'll find that I'm not even interested in making love or having sex with this person.
Sure.
This person to me is a person who does not care about my well-being. Is a person who will hurt me intentionally or unintentionally, but won't care how that hurt, what that hurt did to me. Their actions are their own, they feel entitled to their actions, and they want to move on with their lives as if
nothing happened.
Not even nothing happened, as if you've done what you've done, my reaction is a non-issue. It is just me overreacting or being too emotional because I am female or because I am the sub or whatever. And sex now becomes a chore. Or you become the kind of people who ukienda kumguza, they knock off your hand or they give you the elbow. So sometimes you wonder, because I think we've received these questions a couple of times where people are like, oh, my partner is never in the mood for sex, or how can a man come home and he never wants sex? Is it that he's having sex elsewhere? How are you communicating with this person? First of all, before you come and ask us as Mawazo, we may give our input, but we do not know you people as individuals. We do not know you. Only you know your partner.
We don't know even the context of
we do not know the context of your relationship as a whole to be able to actually come and tell you, okay, this is where the problem is, this is what you're doing, or this is what he did, or do this to him. No, we do not. We can just generalize, and I think every person
You can take only the question at face
Yeah.
value.
Every person who has ever sent us that question, the only thing I tell them, please talk to your partner. Talk to your partner. Because I cannot answer for them. I do not know them.
Very
And
easy.
I'm a woman. I cannot answer for men. And even as a woman, I cannot answer for Nancy. She cannot answer for me.
Sure.
It is only in the context of your relationship where someone would be able, where you, not even someone, an outsider, you would be able to say, okay, this is where we went wrong, or this is what you did. So if you do not communicate, and make sure that however you're communicating, your partner comprehends. Because if even the elbow is communication, the elbow is communication. It's an unverbal communication. Me pushing you away is a communication.
Yeah.
When it comes to the positive aspects of it, if I come home and I'm nice, I'm helping around, that is positive communication. I do not have to say, oh, I love you, that's why I'm helping with the dishes. Oh, I love you, that's why I made you this meal. I love you, that's why I bought you this lingerie. When I buy you lingerie, I expect you to wear it. It's an unverbal communication. I want you to wear it. Or if it's not even buying lingerie, if I have lingerie at home and I find it spread on the bed, that is enough communication. If you put it out there on the bed, when I come into the room and look at that lingerie, that already communicates to me that this person is expecting something and they want me. And that's a beautiful thing. You don't always, because there's someone who asked me, how do I tell my wife I want sex without feeling that that's the only thing I want from her? There are so many things you can do of showing someone that you care. Most of the time, you find that there's someone who asked me, I think this morning, someone sent me a message and told me that we've been quarreling, and now we no longer even know what you're quarreling about. But you know those arguments where you argue until after some time you wonder, okay, what was the initial problem? Because now this is getting too much. And so the person wants to go and apologize, and not say sorry. Because I'm sorry so many times. Yeah. So how do I apologize? There are certain things you do. What does your person like? Yeah. Think about those things. What does your person like? And don't make your person beg for your apology. What does your person like? What do they want? In those arguments, you've been arguing for some time. In those arguments, he or she must have mentioned so many things. That you need to do, or that got you guys into that argument and into a place of hurt and pain. If you know your person well, and if you have been listening to the person, that is communication. Even when we are arguing, we are communicating. That is communication in itself. So, did you listen while you were arguing and they were expressing their pain and their hurt? What are the things they mentioned you did that maybe you can undo, although most of the things you cannot undo? And what are the things you can do to ensure that your partner feels heard? Not just heard, but for your partner to know that whatever has happened, yes, I accept, I take responsibility, but I am willing to make amends. The other thing that people need to focus on while communicating is what is your end game, especially in the point of expressing hurt and pain, and you responding to that hurt and pain, what we usually call intense fellowship or arguments. Is it that you want to win the argument so that, I told her or I told him and then I left and then, is that what you want? Or is your end game to actually, this is someone I love, this is someone I want to keep? Or first of all, do you even want to keep them? Because if you don't want to keep them, burn the bridge. That's your problem. But never burn bridges. So if you want to keep this person for the rest of your life, or for however long you meant to be together, it has to be to forever. No one gets into a relationship to break up. So that's my opinion. So
my opinion doesn't have to be forever. When you're getting into a relationship, there are other things to look at. Anyway,
okay, good to know. Nancy does not want relationships that last forever. So
that's not what I said.
So communicate properly. So my point was, know what your end game is, because if you love someone, you're not getting into that fight or argument, or you're not expressing your heart and pain to them that you may argue to a point of breaking up.
Oh, so it's first to understand that this person I love, it's a person whom
Yeah.
I want to keep.
Yeah, I want them to stay
So you're
forever.
going to find a solution. I don't just want them to feel that I'm right.
Yeah.
I have won. They have apologized.
Yeah.
You know.
So in that case, be very careful, very extremely careful on the words you use.
Sure.
You can never take words back.
Once you say them.
Once you have spoken something and they have heard it, you may speak somewhere and they don't hear it. Go speak in the shower where they can't hear you. But do not ever speak words that tomorrow, even if he or she forgives me, tomorrow if she thinks about it, she'll be doubtful of my love and my commitment and my willingness to take care of them. If those words, and always think of if I were in their shoes, if I was the one who was hurt, and this is how they responded to my heart, how would I feel? Would I want them to give me a taste of my own medicine? Because most of the time we don't even think about that. We don't even think that one day I might be in such a scenario or a similar scenario, and I may need them to listen to me. I may need them to hear me out, and I may need to explain myself.
My feelings to them.
I may need to explain, okay, I did this, yes, I understand your heart, but this is what I meant to do. Or, yes, okay, I have messed up and I need your forgiveness.
Yeah.
What do I need to do for you to be able to forgive me? Do you ever put yourself in your person's shoes? Do you ever think, okay, no one is perfect.
Sure.
I need to communicate in a way that this person will understand, okay, I hurt you, yes, but this is not my intention. My intention is not to be with you to hurt you. My intention is to love you and to take care of you and to take care of your feelings and your well-being as a whole. It's not to hurt you. But sometimes you get angry and you say certain things. Okay, first of all, most people get angry when they're called out on some things they do, and they get on the defensive by saying certain things. So those things that you're saying, will your partner remember tomorrow and wonder and doubt how you feel about them? Will they doubt that you care for them? Will they feel that you do not care for them and you do not love them and you do not care for their well-being, and you make them feel like you're trying to justify what you did to a point where, okay, when you leave them by themselves, they are always wondering about you.
So we need to be careful on what we say.
Be
to
very
people,
careful on what you say. Be very, very, very careful.
No matter how mad you are, you could take your time and first make sure you calm down, because severally and mostly sometimes you say hurtful things to people which we didn't mean to say to them. But now the way we say them and the situation at that moment, maybe umekasirika tu sana and ukarusha tu maneno and your partner got hurt. Anyway, that gets me back to something you said about how sometimes umeka tu hapo umenuna huongei na mtu wako, ama you are just in bed and just giving them the elbow. And something got me that in so many relationships today, we are exercising the silent treatment. We don't want to talk to each other. Wewe umenikosea, and we can get even to a week, 2 weeks, a month without talking. And like you've said, no matter how much you love me, no matter how much you know me, you can never read my mind. You can never know what I'm thinking. Actually, what I'm feeling. You've said that communication gets us into a place whereby I can be able to express myself, my feelings, and it also gets us to understand you and also to feel connected to you. Now, to a person who is going through silence treatment, how would you tell them?
First of all, I don't think the silent treatment solves anything. But whose perspective are you looking at it from? Are you looking from the perspective of the offender? Okay, I don't like calling someone an offender. Okay, are you looking at it from the perspective of the person, of the partner that was hurt, or are you looking at from the perspective of the person that hurt their partner?
In both.
Okay, from the perspective of the person that hurt their partner, why are you giving your partner silent treatment? It's like, I offend you. Okay, you tell me I slapped you. And you're saying, okay, you slapped me, it's painful. Then I step on your feet walking out. Yeah. And then I go and just sit there and move on with my life like nothing happened. You need to understand that because they were hurt initially, this hurt keeps building up. Because you've been quiet somehow proves to them that, okay, this person doesn't even care how I feel. They don't even want to check on me. There is somewhere I posted, effort is a love language.
Yes, it is.
Make an effort.
And already posted something similar
Actually,
about
nilitumia
effort.
kakitabu nisome nikata.
Wow, I posted something similar some hours before you see niliandika 100%.
Effort is one of the love languages in this case, because if someone, you love the person, you love the person that offended you, and the person that offended you loves you. That's what we are assuming, because we heard that those that we love most. So we were looking at it from the perspective of the person that offended me. If you go and keep quiet, how do I know you're sorry? How do I know that you love me? How do I know you care about me? How do you know you care that I am hurt? How do I know that you're not out there living your best life while I'm suffering? Because the mind is a very complicated thing. The mind will think whatever it decides to think, and in a time of when someone is in pain, the only things they think are negative. So maybe they're not talking to me because they're talking to someone else. Maybe they're not engaging me because they just don't care. Maybe they're not even sorry. Maybe that's something that, it's normal for them to do. Now let's go back to the perspective of the person who was hurt.
Now this is the person who was hurt. The person who was hurt might also, is it possible for them to put effort? Because you said earlier that I may offend you, not knowing that I have offended you. So maybe kule, I don't know.
Okay, if you have, okay, first of all, if you have not communicated that you hurt, I don't get how you expect someone to just know that they hurt you. If whatever they did, first of all, let me insist on this. There are things you do that these ones are wrong. These ones are wrong, and then there are things you do that you're not sure, or not even that you're not sure. You have no clue that this person will feel that way about. Personally, I'm a joker. I joke about anything and everything, and sometimes I say stupid things that my person may take offense with, or if I were in a relationship with a person, they may take offense. I may joke about it with my friends and it's hilarious, but my person may take offense. So in this case, are you just keeping quiet with your pain? Have you informed me that, okay, Mombi, you did this and this, or you said this and this, or you spoke to so and so, or you posted a certain picture, or you did something, or you posted something that I feel like is about our relationship, and now people are contributing to it, and you're laughing about it, and I'm feeling hurt. So you have not told me. Umenda, you have assumed that because I am an angel, I can read your mind, and I will come say I'm sorry. First of all, I don't see if my person keeps quiet for a day, 2 days. Most of the time, you engage on a day-to-day basis. Even if you don't live together, you engage a lot during this 24 hours of one day. So, if your person goes 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, they have not spoken to you, or even if they speak to you, it's very cold. Not even cold. Formal. Not even formal. They're disinterested in conversing with you. You need to ask yourself, okay, what's wrong? Ask them what is wrong.
Why should I be asking them yet they are the one who kept quiet?
No, yes, because they are keeping quiet and you're not used to it. You should ask.
No, they should tell me.
You see, at this point, you do not know whether it is something you did. Look at it that way. Quiet. They're just quiet. And because Mombi talks a lot. Because Mombi talks a lot. Even outside of romantic relationships, even your own friend. Even a child, even just your neighbor or someone. If someone you're used to engaging a lot with, you will notice, there's something wrong.
No, but if they keep quiet, you just give them time to keep quiet. Maybe
okay, you're talking from the perspective of someone who knows that there's something wrong. We are looking at it. You've asked me, what about if I do not know?
Okay.
Don't talk as if there's something wrong. Here you're looking at it from the perspective of someone who has no clue. No clue. So this is my person. I love them. We are always talking. We are always happy. And then all of a sudden, do you care for this person?
Yes, I do.
Do you love them?
Yes, I do.
Are you okay that they are quiet?
Do they care for me?
No.
Do they love me?
You see, that is comparative.
Because if they care for me and they also love me, they should also tell me that this and this went wrong.
No. So what you're doing, that is comparative argument. Because now, she should come to me. So, from the perspective of someone who has been hurt and is not communicating, you need to communicate. From the perspective of someone who, and by the time you get to this point, it's not with everyone, but majority of times, by the time I get to a point where I feel like you've hurt me and I cannot tell you, you should also read into it. You've probably hurt me before and did not apologize or did not take it too well. You did not acknowledge or take responsibility for the fact that I was hurt. You don't even need to justify yourself or give explanations, because sometimes justifying it just makes it worse.
Sure.
But most of the time, if it's a newish relationship, okay, that one we understand. We don't even know each other. But if it's a relationship where we've known each other, we've loved each other, we care about each other for a certain amount of time, I should be able to always tell you, okay, this is what you did and I was hurt. But if you keep, every time I tell you, you tell me I'm overreacting or I'm too emotional or I usually take everything just in a negative way, I will never come to you. I will never.
So when we are talking about communication, is to give our partners that place whereby they can feel secure, they can feel free and open to come to us and to tell us, hapa na hapa sijafurahia. My feelings are hurt because of this and this. No matter whether I find it like you're overreacting, those are ones na niza kumeza tu, niza kusemea na huko ndani, because at times we want to say you are now overreacting because maybe the situation looks petty. Yeah.
So you guys, I think we'll have to cover this again.
Yeah, it's a whole lot.
Or we'll continue with the same topic, but because me and Nancy will argue forever. But it's good to understand your person, and it's good to express yourself. Do not stay with someone with whom you cannot express yourself. What's the point then?
Yes,
it's not a one-way street. If it's a two-way street. But if traffic is not moving on the other lane, please leave. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.